Donald Trump has made an executive order where he's going to declassify the files on MLK and JFK. And these are files that people have been waiting for. They have been waiting for JFK because of the conspiracy surrounding the assassination of JFK, and people feel like it was an inside job. And also with MLK, there's a lot of things that already have come out about MLK that would be damaging to the legacy of MLK and are damaging. And so I'm just waiting to be able to see that information and read that information. But it will be no surprise. Some of the things that have already come out have been about Martin Luther King having crazy parties, getting money from the government, and with that money, having crazy parties, orgies with white women in those orgies. Um, and it's damaging because of the image that America, not just Black people, but America has as of MLK, excuse me. So it's very damaging, you know. And what I have to say to that is, when it comes to your Black leaders, you should not expect anything. Oh, let me see what Black Rain said before I make this point. Black Rain said they declassified with the important parts blacked out. Yeah, that's what they do. You know, the important parts, you know, like the names, the places, and what really happened, they'll black it out. I believe that's how we found out that uh, crack cocaine was put into the Black community, because of declassified documents by the government, the CIA. You know, so believe it or not, they do release information that, you know, over time, because they feel like as time has passed, no one is going to care anymore. A lot of the players are now deceased, you know, so people don't feel the same anymore about it. Now, if they was to release it when it happened, then it would be an uproar. So they play it really good as far as waiting 20, 30, 40 years, 50, 60 years to release documents on something. Um, but when the thing about with Martin Luther King is that, you can go research this, is that he was in some communist schools. This is very well known. And so the government, because of his popularity, the government was wiretapping Martin Luther King, following him, not because they thought he was like somebody that's trying to take over America, or he was militant or nothing like that, because, you know, he stood for nonviolence. They was just trying to make sure he wasn't in cahoots with their enemies, with Russians or anybody like that. And so while they're doing that, they're gathering all this information of what he's doing behind the scenes, that people that look at him as a Christian reverend would be appalled by. And so you have to understand, the government has used the image of Martin Luther King to keep Black people docile and to keep Black people thinking one way. In fact, anytime that we speak the truth on the streets, a lot of times what you have is, I've had this, and I'm sure other people have experienced this. You have white people that come to me and say, you should be more like Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King is the example. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, being nonviolent, you know, you know, getting along, not going against the grain, just trying to, you know, get along with white folks. Not saying that I don't want to, not saying that I don't, that's not what I, you know, care for, is to not get along. But the point is that he has been the template for Black America on how you should conduct yourself. They didn't use Malcolm X as the template, although Malcolm X was way rawer, way realer, and more radical. They didn't use Malcolm X, but Black people love Malcolm X. So you should ask your question, why they don't talk about Malcolm X on Black History Month. I forgot that too. They want to take Black History Month away. I'll get to that. But here's the thing when it comes to Black leaders. When this stuff comes out, what you have to understand about many Black leaders is that they are following the template and doing the same things as white leaders, white politicians. You know, so you really shouldn't be surprised. Like when stories come out about Black entertainers, P. Diddy is a good example. He's the most recent, but there are going to be more. I promise you. When stories like that come out about Black people, what you have to know is that white people are doing it too in the entertainment industry. You got to know that. This is not like Black people are not the big bag boogeyman that just started doing these things. These things have been going on in these industries. And the same thing is with that. When you look at the scandals out of the Christian church, you see the things that pastors are doing, sleeping with men's wives, molestation. These things have been going on in the mother of all churches, the Roman Catholic Church. They've been going on. So anytime you see Black people propped up in a way where, they're focusing on these Black people and they're making them a star, they're making them big, just know that if something comes out, it's only because they're doing what has already been done by white people. So when that stuff comes out, when all the information comes out about MLK, just know that this is how all of them get down. When you hear a story about a Republican having some crazy orgies or something like that, just know that Democrats are doing it too behind the scenes. This is a world that you don't see as a regular person. All right. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Black Rain said they got Diddy, but Weinstein, he walked free. Exactly. They do it too. They are doing it too. They just publicize Black people doing it so much that you start to focus on Black people like we the big boogeyman, we the problem. Like they focus on black crime. Black on black crime. Oh, somebody got shot over the weekend in Chicago, and this happened over here, and this happened over there. Or the story I just went over with this sister, which is a sad story, very sad story, hurtful, with Naziah. You don't think this happens in the white community? It does. Far more. It does far more. You don't think people, unalive people with handguns in the white community? It does. Way more. But it's not put center screen in the media and on every news story like they do when it comes to us. It's a big deal. It's the biggest problem in America. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. And, the MLK files, they're going to be declassified. And, what people have to understand about this is he was a man like you and me. And they were all doing that.